What you're hearing right now.
Wow.
We're live, giving you a sound check. Travis Failey of Rocket Sports and Entertainment. You ready?
I am ready.
All right.
That's almost like Point Break right there. Are you ready?
Are you ready?
I am ready.
I am ready.
Dick, are you ready? I am ready.
We're here live at Tampa Joe's 9316 Anderson Road in Tampa. Sound check here as we get you ready for USF versus the Navy Midshipmen. Both teams coming in at 7-2. Let's go.
Brody, I am an FBI agent. Isn't it great?
That's great. That is freaking great. I like the media icon there with DJ Reeves.
You go back and forth. That's never You gotta go down.
Everyone's like, don't sound professional when you do that sound check.
Right here?
Wait till you see. No, I don't know. Hi, guys. We're here live.
We're live. That's the best part.
The other guy's like, I'm getting out of here.
All right, come on, let's go. We got two potential callers calling in. Great.
Let it play out. Don't mess with my madness.
Oh, yeah!
We are up. Mr. Jim Sutton tuning in there from Ohio.
Damn it, Jim, what the hell's the matter with you?
Really loud. All my sound effects are loud. Yeah, it's happy college football day. Absolutely. Beautiful. Love it. Well, we'll go with the intro. It's a Bucks intro. We'll work on that. It's a Tampa Bay intro. Here we go. We know. Oh, yeah. Here we go. What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another edition of the Evolution of Sports Talk Television. It's the Sports Web. I'm your host, Peter Blake, your Rolex reporter. What time is it? It's my time. And for fans of the Sports Web and the Tampa Bay sports fan, it is your time, along with Mr. Travis Failey of Rocket Sports and Entertainment, getting you ready for your USF Bulls versus the Navy Midshipmen. Live here from Tampa Joe's 9316 Anderson Road in Tampa. So how do we start off this show? As you know them, you love them, you got to have them. Let's rev it up. Bring your passion, bring your excitement. Just don't bring any nonsense. And I'll tell you right now, what a huge game today, Travis Failey, for the Bulls, coming in at 7-2. And oh, by the way, thanks a lot to the college football playoff, now ranked 24th. I mean, you've been covering this team for a long time. To steal a phrase from an inside joke, it is surreal that USF right now is ranked highly. And listen, if they take care of business today over Navy, they control their own destiny, even also hosting the AAC championship game. That's in the balance today.
You know, we talked about the Memphis game being the biggest game on the schedule so far for this Bulls team, and we all saw how that played out. First of all, thank you for having me on the show today.
Love you on the show, my friend. Yes.
Getting this going. And wow, I cannot be more excited about this football game and what could happen if the USF Bulls take care of business today. But this matchup, this is an amazing offensive line, defensive line matchup for the Bulls today, as Navy, once they get it going on the ground, they are hard to stop. And once they get into the fourth quarter, and if they have the lead, they haven't been beat in 77 straight games, guys. That is an unbelievable number, and that is a fact. So 77 wins in a row when leading after the third. The Bulls have something in their hands today. So, you know, it all starts up front in the, front seven with this Bulls defense. And if these guys can get some stops, they're giving up about 110 yards a game on the ground, which isn't all that bad. I believe that's 35th in the country. Whereas, you look at Navy, what they're doing in the air is pretty porous, and their defense is fairly poor when it comes to defending against the pass. So this is a fantastic matchup on both sides of the ball, as USF can move the ball on the ground and in the air. It all starts and stops with Byron Brown.
It definitely stops and starts with Byron Brown, definitely coming off one of his most impressive games against UTSA, where they clearly dominate them from whistle to whistle. Getting out 14-0 with their defense being the major question. Wow, look at this. Hold on a sec. Hold the phones, because we got somebody calling in, a secret surprise caller. Let's go out to Rick Sassone of Rocket Sports and Entertainment. Welcome to the Evolution of Sports Talk Television here live from Tampa Joe's.
Hey, how you doing, Pete?
What's going on, buddy? How you doing?
Well, good. I'm going to bring this up front. I'm in a challenging cell phone service area.
I can hear it.
The Taconics right now, on my way to Williamstown.
Okay.
Do some play-by-play today, but wanted to get with you. You lose me, guys. So Travis did not know this. I'm going to the game tomorrow.
Well, how about that? He's going to the game tomorrow. So he's going to Bucks and Buffalo tomorrow. Of course, we'll be back here at Tampa Joe's 9316, getting you ready at 11 o'clock for your Tampa Bay Buccaneers versus the Buffalo Bills, an important matchup for both teams, with the Bills clearly looking for a game win here to keep up with the New England Patriots after the disappointing loss to the Miami Dolphins. And then, of course, the Bucs coming off that loss versus the Patriots trying to get on the winning track.
Well, absolutely, 100%, and this is, like you said, I think you said it best, important game for both teams. A huge mid-November matchup for both teams.
Yep.
And the Buffalo Bills have a coaching problem. I've been saying it for years. So, know how I feel about that. With that offensive talent, to struggle and not be prepared, this team just never seems to be prepared especially on games that are not in the Monday main slate. Like last week was an exception. But prior to that, every one of their big struggles or their losses is either come on a Thursday night, Sunday night, or a Monday night. So typically they've been prepared, except last week. I don't know what happened.
So what happens there, Rick, is it seems like, a trap game, because you come in, you have Kansas City, you play very well against Kansas City, you beat them. And then next thing you know, you got the Dolphins right around the corner, and you just get the slate wiped against a very poor Miami team, but you know how it is in the NFL. You come not ready to play. You are playing against a professional football team and a decent offense, and they just went down to South Florida in 90-degree weather and didn't know how to handle it. But, it's supposed to be fairly nice. It's 50 up in Maryland today, so it should be decent weather for both teams. But, with the Bucs not having Bucky Irving available and Chris Godwin out, they're going to struggle to move the ball. But, Buffalo has a problem on their hands, too, as Dalton Kincaid has been ruled out for the game, and they can't figure out their passing offense, which is crazy when you have one of the best quarterbacks in the league starting for the Buffalo Bills.
Now, listen, this is a USF pre-show, so I want to shift gears here with you, Rick. I don't know how much you've been keeping up with the Bulls, but this has been one of the main stories in college football, in my opinion, especially with Brown, the way he's played at quarterback. This offense has taken off ever since they got their doors blown off by the Miami Hurricanes, and now if they win today, they're definitely not only in the driver's seat when it comes to the AAC Conference Championship, even hosting a game at Raymond James Stadium, but also being in the college football playoff. You've covered this team before. How surprised are you by Alex Golesh and where he's got this program right now?
Well, I'm surprised and optimistically very happy. Nothing needs to happen more for the city of Tampa, the whole Bay Area, for the USF Bulls to get national prominence like this. We've been following this team for years. They were really, really close there. And then that big loss to Rutgers, I don't remember how many years ago that
2007 with Matt Grothe.
You remember
I
that?
do remember.
Ray Rice.
Yes, Ray Rice and Greg Schiano, of course, the eventual head coach that was horrible in the National Football League, should have stayed at Rutgers. But you're exactly right. They get all the way to number 2 after defeating West Virginia at Raymond James Stadium. But there seems like there's something different. This came out of nowhere. I would say I don't think this came out of nowhere this year, but I think there's a lot of people surprised because when you start the schedule, it's Boise State, they're ranked. That's a loss. You go to Florida to the Swamp. That's a loss. And then you go down to Miami, and, of course, it ended up being a loss. But the surprising thing was how they did beat Boise State at Raymond James Stadium handily. And then also you go to the Swamp with a huge win versus the SEC, which, by the way, Paul Feinbaum, you got to look that on your score sheet. They did beat an SEC team, so they're not the Little Sisters of the Poor. They're not a AAA baseball team when it comes down to it. And I think that's probably the most surprising aspect to start from this, because everybody thought it was going to be 0-3 or 1-2 at best.
Well, I'll tell you what, I made some money on that Boise State game. I'll tell you what. No, I'll tell you why. I said it was a 5 o'clock start.
Right.
I remember it was a 5 o'clock start on a Saturday. And I said, there's no way Boise State is hopping on a plane, getting in that Tampa 5 o'clock p.m. humidity and keeping up with this team. And I think I remember it was a big number.
Yeah.
And the one thing that I was ticked off about was I didn't play them on the money line. I took the points. And wow, they shamble-cocked them.
I don't know what that word was, but I don't know if we have to hit the dump button. I'm not exactly sure.
I'm trying not to suck right there.
Dictionary from the back page, shamble-cock.
That's got to be something, some kind of northern, upstate New York, Albany, some kind of word. I don't even know if that's in the Webster's dictionary at this point.
Yes,
but
yes.
Man, that's outstanding. So yeah, Rick, today's just a huge game for this program, and it's going to be interesting to see how Golesh handles this because Navy can be manipulated through the air, and you have that dual talent in Byron Brown, but on the other side of the ball, Blake Horvath, man, that kid is a special talent, and I believe they kept him out of the Notre Dame game on purpose just so he could be prepared for this game because, when you go up, you got a program like Navy going up against a program like Notre Dame that, you can have a bunch of 4 and 5 stars and you're still going to have a problem going up against Notre Dame. So I believe they kept him out on purpose because, Horvath is averaging in the last 6 games, he's been over 100 yards. He's averaging 115 yards a game on the ground, and he's a dual purpose threat. So it's going to be very interesting to see how USF handles this. And it's all on the front 7 of that defense because when Horvath gets going, the defense will chip in. They'll move up to stop the run, and then he can go over the top on him from an aerial game. He's only got 7 touchdowns with 5 picks from a passing standpoint. But, man, the kid is talented and he's healthy.
Yeah, 13 touchdowns on the ground, and this team comes in number 1 in college football right now. We're on with Rick Sassone of Rocket Sports and Entertainment, Travis Failey. I'm your host, Peter Blake.
It's like we're back at Tan Talk.
I'm telling you. I love this. I love this, and we got to do this more, my friends, because this was kind of the start of and you know what we do together, which is so cool. You know, talking sports, talking USF football, talking Tampa Bay Buccaneer football. But you talk about it, Navy comes in leading college football, over 300 yards of rushing, and there's a bad taste in this Bulls team's mouth. Don't forget, this was a Navy that came down to Raymond James Stadium and beat the brakes off of them 28-7 and rushed for 330 yards. This defense is different, Rick, and I think that's the biggest key. 6 sacks last week versus UTSA, causing 2 turnovers. They get the big explosive plays. The first start of the game, 40-yard interception by Taven Ward, and then Gaskin for 85 yards after Jarvis Lee, the great corner, who's very active, strips the quarterback there. So this is the main difference for me, and this is where I think USF has the main advantage. Even though Navy dresses it up, they show you different looks, they're going to run the ball, and I think USF's defense is up for it. What do you say?
Oh, absolutely, 100%. They can get the job done today. But Navy, like you said, these military academies, man, I never want to see them on my schedule. These kids are so disciplined.
Yep.
And they're just sharp. And when you get some athletic talent on a military team like Navy or Army or Air Force, I'll tell you, this Horvath, he can get it going. So it starts, I think the key starts on stopping him on the run, on the line of scrimmage, stopping their eye candy, their options, because if they get that going,
counters and then wishbone and wing tee and everything else and quarterback option. I got an update here from the media icon, Mr. TJ Reeves of the Buccaneer Radio Network, who's on his way to Buffalo as we speak, getting on that Bucs plane. He says Blake Horvath right now is warming up in the pregame at quarterback for Navy. Who knows if he's playing? Do we have anything official? Because again, he did not play in that game versus Notre Dame, and they got their doors blown off also 49-10. The kid Woodson, Braxton Woodson, didn't look like he could throw the ball, and it can't bring that same impact. So if Horvath doesn't play in this game, which we anticipate he's going to, then I think Navy would be in trouble. But it looks like Horvath is warming up. Looks like he's going to play in this game. So give me the keys, Rick, to a USF win today, going 8-2, which is pretty amazing to say at this point in the season.
Well, read and react on defense, but being disciplined, keeping with your assignments, everybody filling their gaps, and stop it. You got to stop the run. You have to stop Horvath in that one. Because like I said, that and Travis, to your point earlier, once that crap gets going, then it opens up the pass over the top, and then you're chasing your tail all day. And that's where you don't want to be defensively against a disciplined offensive group like Navy.
Absolutely. And I think it goes back to start too. You don't want to have a sleepy start, even though they're killing me, Smalls here. I had to get up at 9:00 this morning. Yeah, I'll give you a little hack there, USF Bulls fans. Even though we're at Tampa Joe's, if you go to Wendy's, you get a free chicken honey biscuit right there. That'll definitely pep you up and get you ready for USF.
Looks like
Bulls.
You've had a few honey biscuits this morning.
I don't think I've had any honey biscuits
the gym,
at all.
You
I
should
think
get
I look just fine, my friend.
You need a sponsorship from the gym.
We're definitely going to work on that, but it's not because I need to go work out. I'm good to go, my friend. Rick, appreciate the time as always. We'll see you on the halftime show and post game live here from Tampa Joe's. All right.
Sounds great, buddy. You guys have a great day.
Listen, you got it. You can't be a stranger on this show. You're definitely a big part of this show. We love you here on the Sports Web, and we love all the commentary, and it brings back the old days there at a radio station in a galaxy far, far away named Tan Talk, when 3 guys were just getting together talking sports, because that was the only sports talk show at the time. You had vitamin shows, religious shows, nothing against those. But, man, we come a long way, have we not, guys?
Absolutely, 100%.
100.
Hey, Rick, you should call in tomorrow when you're on the road heading out to Rick, you should call in tomorrow when you're heading out to the game. We'll do a little bit more of a Bucks Bills breakdown tomorrow.
Yeah, we'll do that. We'll do that in the morning. I'll call you guys.
All right, sounds good. We'll be on at 11 a.m. here live from Tampa Joe's. Appreciate the call.
11 a.m. I'll call you from a tailgate.
All right.
Jumping on the table.
Sounds good, buddy. Don't go through the
see you
table.
guys.
Don't go through it. All right. Yeah, you got Bills. I almost said Bulls Mafia. Bills Mafia there, throwing people through tables. Wrestling fans, if you will, my kind of people. But then again, they're crazy. And again, you go back to that matchup. Josh Allen coming off a disappointing loss to the Miami Dolphins. What's going on with the National Football League? The Miami Dolphins. So
sometimes teams think they can just walk into a stadium and an opposing team's stadium and do the minimum, I should say, and get a victory. But Pete, we're talking about this USF game, and we're talking about Navy and the way they run the ball. They run this triple option, and they run arguably 5 or 6 different formations on that, and it varies all throughout the course of the day. And for me, I'm happy that this game is actually a road game because as a photographer on the field, a triple option, how do you follow the ball? So if I'm having problems with my camera, how are the Bulls going to be able to follow the ball running when Navy's running this triple option? So, they want, like you guys said earlier, the Bulls can't make mistakes in this game.
They can't walk into the game, like you just said.
Right.
You can't walk into the game. You can't sleepwalk into the game.
Golish is going to have them ready.
Yeah.
The biggest thing here is problems and mistakes by the Bulls. If they can, like Rick had mentioned, Navy's going to be a very ultra-disciplined team. So they're not going to have a lot of penalties. So the Bulls have to at least match or minimize their penalties that Navy has. And Byram's got to be able to not turn the ball over. When Byram doesn't turn the ball over, this Bulls team has success. It's when they turn the ball over, like in the Memphis game, that they have issues. So it's all about being disciplined in this game. If they can match that discipline and not turn this ball over and not have penalties, they have a great chance to win as long as the defense plays in structure and is able to slow down this Navy team as far as their running game. But once again, Navy's averaging 304 yards a game on the ground, number one in the country, where the Bulls are. I don't know if they've seen this kind of run offense coming at them this year. But once again, I believe they're 34th in the league, giving up about 110 yards, and we'll take that all day today. Even if they're under 200 for Navy, if they can have a 2-score lead going into the fourth quarter, I love USF's chances because Navy's not going to be able to come back if they get down early. Once again, UTSA last week, 14 points even before USF's offense got on the field with 2 minutes to go in the first quarter. That is unbelievable. We're sitting here going, is Byram and this Bulls offense even going to get on the field in the first quarter? I don't know if that's ever been done. I didn't look it up, but it's crazy to see an offense not get on the field until 2 minutes to go in the first quarter.
He is my Bulls insider, Mr. Travis Failey, of Rocket Sports and Entertainment here on the Sports Web. I'm your host, Peter Blake, giving you something to think about, and you talk about it this second quarter. Teams this year, Bulls outscoring opponents 112-58 in the third quarter, 113-30. So they are running away. Yes, they have slow starts, which they didn't have last week. Thank you for the root beer. Appreciate you here.
That's from Tampa Joe's over here on Anderson Road.
Yes, 9316 Anderson Road. It was, and I think this Bulls defense has done a very good job. In fact, according to Pro Football Focus, after the Miami game, their statistics against the run have gone up tremendously. And listen, this was the Achilles heel of this team last year. We knew they had the offense. Brown couldn't stay healthy. Going back to that 28-7 loss, Bryce Archie was at the helm. You've got to deal with a totally different guy there in Brown, who, if you look at his numbers when it comes to passing and rushing, you could throw him in the Heisman conversation, Travis Failey.
Well, if you look at his stats right now since week 4, Byram's had, he's rated second in PFF. His passing grade's third in the country at 89.7. He's got 17 passing touchdowns, which is second. 87.1 rushing grade. That's fourth in the country. This isn't just in the AAC. This is in the country across the board in NCAA. Navy's D, it's bad. It's over 100 ranked. So this is where our offense gets an opportunity to put up big points against this Navy team. And like I mentioned a few minutes ago, if USF can get the lead, I believe this defense will be able to handle it, cause Blake Horvath to throw the ball. And what happens then? USF starts attacking, and that's when they get turnovers.
You make them one-dimensional. You get up in this game, and then you you put the onus on Horvath to beat you with throwing the ball, which this offense doesn't go through. They want to grind it out. They want to run the ball. They want to get the lead. They want to wear you out. They want to body blow you. Going back to that defense from Navy, 31 points in 5 consecutive games, and you put it up there. Brown, 39 missed tackles. He is making guys miss. I called him the baby Cam Newton. He ain't no baby no more. That guy is built like a tank. He's put on about 20 to 25 pounds of muscle. He looks like Cam Newton from the pocket, running and throwing the ball.
He's a 6'4" monster, and I will tell you one thing. If I don't ever hear Cam Newton's voice ever again on TV and on shows, it'll be way too soon.
All right, so what do we got here at Tampa Joe's? What is this?
Those are stuffed mushrooms, and they look fantastic.
Stuffed mushrooms here at Tampa Joe's, 9316 Anderson Road in Tampa, right there, Travis Failey.
Keep those over here.
What else we got here? What is this? Thank you to the management. I got to get her on. We got Abraham in the background, one of my main web heads, my man right there. We got some Bulls fans in the back, I believe, and we'll have more Bulls fans, I think. Early start again. Get down here, Tampa Joe's 9316 Anderson Road. Let's go out to Abraham. We'll get back to Travis Failey in just a moment. But what is this, Travis?
That looks like pizza. And give me that. Let me see.
It looks like flatbread.
It's going to be gone in a minute.
It's going to be gone in a minute. Looks like a little flatbread. Get closer, Mr. Abraham.
What's up?
What's going on, buddy? Thanks a lot for coming on the Evolution of Sports Talk Television. Webheads, Tampa Bay sports fans familiar with you. Go ahead and introduce yourself if they don't know.
I'm a Tampa Bay sports fan, Bucks fan, Bulls fan, Lightning fan.
Love it. He said he was a Bulls fan. Good stuff, my friend.
And
yes.
I think USF is a program that's on the rise. I like the fact that the quarterback they got, Byron Brown, he should be a Heisman candidate. He can do it all, run, throw. He's just a dynamo.
He's dynamite. He really is. He's dynamite. He's dynamic. He could do it multiple ways here.
And then Golish got the whole team believing, and he's got them convinced. And he's what he's built here is amazing, and not short of remarkable. And solid defense. Everybody's playing for each other, and they should have beat Memphis, but they let Memphis come back in that game.
They did, especially in that fourth quarter. Tell you what, Travis is out there eating right now, taking a break. Let's go out to the phone lines. What's your name? Where you're calling from? You're on the Evolution, along with yours truly, along with Abraham. Hello.
Yeah, hi, this is Chris in Tampa.
Hey, Chris, what's going on? Welcome to the Evolution, my friend.
Hey, man, how's it going? Just want to talk about little USF football today.
Love it. Absolutely, man. More than welcome. Hopefully you get down here to Tampa Joe's, because if you're a Bulls fan, this is for you. Away watch parties. You know, again, I'm driving Uber, and we'll get back to you in a moment. Driving Uber around town in USF, and I'm talking to the kids out there, and they're like, we got nowhere to go to watch a USF Bulls game. Well, here you go. You got a place. It's where the Evolution of Sports Talk Television lives. It's at Tampa Joe's, 9316 Anderson Road. Great food, great atmosphere, and, of course, home of the Evolution. So go ahead, my friend. What's on your mind today?
Love it, Tampa Joe's. I'm going to opt for the comfort of my couch. But, hey, man, arguably, I think, really the biggest game in program history. You know, I don't think there's ever been so much on the line this late in the season. Maybe back in 17 in that 4th and 28 game against Houston before the big game against UCF that everyone's familiar with. But
wow. Okay.
Just massive game. You know, I think today, guys, it's no throwaway possessions, right? Because possessions that are a premium when you're playing Navy, they just chew clock. They don't leave you with much. So they got to make the best of everything. They can't have any throwaways. You know USF, right? Sometimes they have those 3 plays, 8-second possessions. Just can't have that today. So outside of that, man, I actually like the matchup, Navy's offense versus our defense. So we're a bit undersized in the interior.
I do too.
But we have legit thumpers at linebacker, the defensive ends. These guys can generate pressure. So I think at the end of the day, guys, it comes down to Todd Orlando getting creative with blitz packages and just really containing Horvath and let Byron Brown and the team eat on offense, man. So just want to get you guys' take and see what you think about today.
Yeah, well, I think it's a great point, because that defense to me is the big time key. It's been the reason why they're in contention. And I go back to last year. There were some players on that team, Jalen Schuler, weren't playing at 100%. Yes. How much has he meant to that defense as a defensive captain? How much has Mac Harris being active. You talk about the defensive line. You also talk about Todd Orlando and what he's done to change up those looks. And I think they'll have them disciplined and ready to go. And if you get a lead, this defense is not very good when it comes to Navy. I definitely agree with you. I think that is the big-time advantage at this point, the defense versus Navy's offense. I get it. They're doing all kinds of looks, but this defense this year has shown moments where not only they get after the quarterback, they get pressure, but also they're able to cause turnovers.
Well, Chris,
absolutely.
I did some math last night, and Friday night math is always interesting.
You mathematician, you.
You're looking at Navy's size on their offensive line. They're about 10 pounds heavier as far as average across the board against this USF front seven. You're looking at, especially on the right-hand side, you've got Hoke and Acevedo. Hoke and Acevedo are about 315, just in that ballpark. So it's going to be interesting. I definitely see them running the ball in that direction to get that size matchup. But, speed, heart, and hustle are going to play a big role in this game, Chris. And I like USF's defense today. And once again, if they can keep Navy under $150, $175 on the ground, I really like USF's chances, especially if they don't make mistakes. And like you were saying, Chris, it's these 8-second, 15-second 3-and-outs. Get Byram active early and give him some easy throws, because when he has those easy throws, just like any other quarterback across, in any level, especially, I watch it with Caleb Williams. When he struggles early, he struggles until the third quarter. Get Byram going early, give him some really easy passes, not a lot of these quick screens, but get him a little bit open in the middle, and let's get Byram active early against Navy. I think they got a good shot.
Well, Chris,
I got a couple of keys for the game. I'll let you guys go. I know you guys got to keep your show going, but for me, it's just limit chunk plays, get off the field on defense, let the offense cook. USF's team speed versus Navy's plotting nature, and then get up early and force Navy into a game they don't want to play, playing from behind behind multiple scores. So I'm saying 42-27 USF, and let's go Bulls.
Yeah, let's go Bulls. I love it.
That's not a lot of stops for Navy.
Yeah, that is not. Chris, definitely don't be a stranger. Call back on the post-game edition of the Evolution of Sports Talk Television, my friend, all right?
You got it, gentlemen. Have a great day.
All right, good
Thanks,
stuff
Chris,
there. Like it. 42-27. Open phone line, 727-255-0391. It's 727-255-0391 as we're getting you ready for Bulls versus the Navy Midshipmen. Bulls coming in at 7-2. Navy Midshipmen at 7-2. Also, if they win this game, slight hopes are alive to still win this conference. If USF wins this game, again, they control their own destiny. I want to go out to this guy right here, Paul Feinbaum, because he doesn't necessarily think too highly of the USF Bulls. Listen to these comments, Bulls fans, here on the Evolution.
Couple of people over here in. Let's put a couple of people. What about putting the best in? I don't see Major League Baseball. I don't see the NFL going, the Chiefs, they've been there too many times. Let's put the Patriots in. I mean, doggy, this is supposed to be about excellence, not about being fair. This is not the little leagues where we give a second, third, fourth, and fifth place trophy. This should be the best. It's already a convoluted system because we let the group of whatever in, the group of five with South Florida, and they have no business. That conference, that division really has no business playing. That's like letting the AAA best team in to the Major League playoffs. It doesn't happen in any other sport. But for you to say, the SEC has too many teams in, and this and that is just patently ridiculous.
No, what's ridiculous is denying that USF is a good team, possibly a great team. What's ridiculous is denying that Byram Brown is one of the top players in all of college football, and people want to see him play.
We went through the stats, Pete. Stats.
Which is ridiculous is to not deny that USF going up to the Swamp, which we were there, went up there and beat the Florida Gators, who, by the way, are in the SEC. This is the reason why you have to have a 12-team playoff or 16-team playoff, because of blowhards like Paul Feinbaum. I'm sorry. This is what it is.
I love the passion. But you're getting into a nonsense area, Mr. Blake. A little bit of nonsense going on here. He has done
this before. He did it with Florida State and the state of Florida. Oh, it's SEC bias. Okay,
well, listen, I understand exactly where the guy is coming from, okay? But it's the process. It is the procedures, and this is how it's set up in the NCAA. So for him to come on and he's just another mouthpiece, we get it. We We understand where he's coming from. He's a traditionalist. He's got Chris and Chris Mad Dog coming after him, and then whenever you got the Mad Dog coming after you, you got to come back at him, or he's just going to run over you. So I understand where Feinbaum's coming from this, but this is the way it's set up. It's you, and you have to go with it. If he doesn't agree with it, that's his prerogative. That's his opinion. But once again, it's the same thing with how the NIL is set up, and then you got the coach from UTSA coming after USF about money that they're spending on players, et cetera, et cetera. Pete, I know you got a clip from that.
Yeah, I do. We do.
What
got
a
that.
segue, by the way.
It was a great segue. Let me go ahead and see if I got that. Again, open phone lines. We'll get out to the comments in a moment. I don't want to neglect you guys, but here was Alex Golish after the comments from Coach Jeff Traylor of UTSA. Once again, keep on watching the evolution of sports talk television.
I do want to say I respect Coach Traylor so much. I respect the program that he's built from the ground up. Just want to guard, and I've kept my mouth shut on it all week, but I do want to guard the comments made about that. And I understand what he's doing. He's trying to generate more for his own program, but don't do it at the expense of us. Don't do it at the expense of commenting about the resources we have, about what our roster looks like, and how much money is spent on a roster. Your prerogative is to go build your own program, but I think when you're talking about money on a roster, you're taking away from the fact that there's a bunch of dudes in that locker room that have poured into their process. There's a bunch of coaches that have demanded it of them. And I think when you make comments like that rosters are bought, it discredits the fact that there's recruiting, that there's relationships being built, that there's development and coaching going on. And I'm good with lobbying to make sure that you have the resources you need. I genuinely am. And I say it wholeheartedly that I have so much love and respect for Coach Traylor and what he's done and how he's done it, because he does it the right way. He's a good man, and he has a hell of a football program. But don't discredit the fact that our guys work as hard as anybody in the country. Our guys have developed, and yet we've got resources because we've made a commitment to building a special football program here and a special athletic department here. But I want to act like anybody's buying players around here, because that ain't the case, and that's never been the case. We recruit, we retain, we develop, we pour into our players, we love our players, but we demand a lot of our players, and we love them harder than anything we'll ever demand from them. And that's my only 2 cents on it. When you start talking about other people's rosters to try to benefit yourself, I think you tread water that implies that there's not an elite level of work here, and there's a ton that went into not just the recruiting and the retaining and the developing and the relationship building, but the fact that there's a lot of blood, sweat, and tears that has gone into those resources. Been a lot of lunches and dinners begging for resources to come up. So just don't discredit what these kids have done and what this coaching staff has done in terms of building a program that's sustainable, that's respected, where kids play really, really hard. And that's just my 2 cents on it. And I don't normally get up here and have any, it's just been eaten at me that those are the comments that are made to help your own program, and I'm good, but not at the expense of what these kids go out and do every single day and what this staff goes out and does every single day. So I'll just leave it at that, and I'll answer questions.
So there you go.
How about this? How about don't turn the ball over twice and go down 14-0 to make your team have to struggle to come back? How about that, UTSA?
Yeah.
How about that?
I agree.
How about not turn the ball over? How about go after Texas Tech and the Red Raiders? They've spent more money in NIL, I believe, this last offseason than any other team. And that proof is in the pudding, because they are ranked 6th in the country. So why don't you go after teams like that? Just because you take an L last week, don't turn the ball over, and maybe you'll win the football game, and then we won't have this conversation about how USF is just overspending. It's ridiculous. It drives me crazy. Other teams have been doing it for years off the books. You look at teams like Georgia, Alabama, across the board, huge SEC teams. You want to tell me that they're not paying their players under the table back in the day before this NIL situation happened? Yes. Absolutely. That's how. I don't have any proof on that, but hey, I've watched that movie, Johnny Be Good, with Anthony Michael Hall and Robert Downey Jr. And I'll tell you what, those players are getting paid back then.
Paid with strippers and then all kinds of.
That's right. We got it. Anthony Michael Hall reference.
We're talking about Anthony Michael Hall and then of course Robert Downey Jr. Right?
Crazy, right?
It is crazy. What is that? 1988, 1989.
With
How do we
the great
that?
Judas Priest doing a cover of Johnny Be Good to end the movie. Fantastic.
I know you
ladies and
love
gentlemen.
that. I know you love that. Travis Failey of Rocket Sports and Entertainment, as always, giving us some rock references.
Hey, I want to
there.
get Abraham back on just for a minute. I know
Yes.
I cut him off because Chris came on, but hey, Abraham, get back over here for a few minutes, and then we'll wrap it up, and we'll get this USF game going. Hold on one
Absolutely. All right, let's go out to Abraham here. Open phone line, 727-255-0391 and 727-255-0391 here live from Tampa Joe's, 9316 Anderson Road in Tampa. I'm your host, Peter Blake, along with Mr. Abraham himself. Get close to that mic. Let's go out to these comments because I don't want to neglect the web heads there. Of course, like and subscribe to the Sports Web on YouTube. YouTube super chats are open. If you like the content, give to the content. And, of course, Facebook stars there from me at Peter H. Blake, if you would. Jim says, are we up? We are definitely up. Damn it, Jim.
Damn it, Jim, what the hell's the matter with you?
Happy college football day. Absolutely. Van House Life. The Bulls can beat the Bucks. Once again, nonsense by Van House Life. Bring that.
That's good enough to suck right there.
Let's go with, I don't know, Mickey here. Exactly. That's what you are. Sounds like you got some web heads. Definitely a hot mic. We knew that. That's why we put it in there. Brightside Broadway right there from North Carolina. Hey, Peter, what's going on? Hey, everybody, absolutely. Van House Live. Peter, where's the Greek? We got Travis Failey in the building, our USF Bulls insider here of the Evolution. Fabio looks awesome. This is what you get with that. Abraham, he has been called Michael Bay by Jake Paul. When we went out and interviewed Jake Paul a couple years ago, Jake Paul said, I love your work. So it kind of does look like Michael Bay, the director of Bad Boys and, of course, Transformers, right?
Yeah. Yeah, Byron Brown, man, he's an amazing player. I swear to God. I haven't seen there's some players but come and go, but he's just a one-man wrecking. Well, not a one-man. But
is that your biggest key to the game? I mean, I know it's simplistic, but the offense again starts and stops with
around him. The running game, he can throw. He's like another Baker. I mean, but more athletic. But he's got a strong arm. He knows how to find his receivers, and the team is just bought into whatever Golish has sold them, and it's a great buy-in within the team, and the defense is pretty solid.
Yeah,
and there was no reason for Memphis to come back and win that game. I'm sorry, but
I agree. You got to take the points. You can't go for it on fourth down, but that is in the rear view at this point because you prove yourself. You could have easily came off that bye week and look flat, and you don't look flat. You absolutely give UTSA everything they can handle, and now it could be a three-way tie. You could be facing Tulane. I believe you could be facing North Texas, which you took care of early on in the year on the road. And once again, another road game. And this is what I love about this program from Alex Golish, what he's got. He's got these kids ready, especially when they go into a road. You know it's going to be somewhat of a hostile environment. Navy wants to win this game. They want to play spoiler, if you will. They still have some chances to win this conference. What do you think about Alex Golish and what he's been able to do with this program?
I like what he's done with this program. And he's like every year he's turned it up a notch. And I hope he's going to be here for the long term. It's the way he's talking. He really likes the environment that he's building. I think this program is going to go to the next level. And when that stadium is going to open in 2027, we're going to have one of the better college football towns in the country.
Well, listen, I know that you're a big-time Bucs fan because you call the show here, Abraham, one of the great web heads. Derek Brooks being hired by USF. What did you think of that move?
I think that's a great move. Because they were trying, when Derek was there, Derek was one of the guys that they had to lure Dion to try to come to USF, but USF did not have a stadium. Colorado had. And hopefully,
Well, good thing they didn't,
Yeah.
because Dion has struggled ever since his son has left, and of course Travis Hunter. He struggled overall. If you look at it, and Kolish, 2 straight years there of 7 wins. Now, 3 straight?
We got
3 straight years of 7 wins. Have an opportunity to surpass that. The expectations.
I'm excited.
Are high.
I'm excited about the USF football for years to come. Just like I'm excited about Bucks football. I'm not bearish. I'm bullish. So
Love it. Bullish right there. Abraham, let's go back out to the comments here, and we'll go back to Travis Failey. Appreciate you.
Sorry, Harry the Greek. I had to put the Bears in there.
I know you did, and we're expecting Harry the Greek tomorrow. We'll see if you'd like to come back tomorrow. I know not only you are coming out, but also your friend Murray, who's been on the show.
Murray's on his way.
All right.
He's coming here just to support you, because he's like, I like Peter, man. Let's support that guy.
I appreciate
and
that.
he's got matching gear too. So
okay.
Yeah.
All
USF
right.
gear.
All right. Love it. USF gear. Morning, everyone, says Christopher Cole. Appreciate you.
Oh, yeah.
Let's go out to Van House Life. Your co-host stole Donald Trump's hair.
Oh, really? How's
He's
that?
saying you got Donald Trump's hair.
Okay, I thought it might.
Yeah, it's hello from Puerto Rico. Hello. Van House Life, the Greek wishes he could inhale those stuffed mushrooms.
That was on me.
Watching on YouTube from the Palm Coast. Go Bulls, go Bulls. Absolutely. Van House Life, the Bulls and Bills will win this weekend. Once again, I will agree with you on the Bulls. The Bills, not so much.
That's great off the suck right there.
And let's go out to Douglas Miles 7013 there on YouTube. The biggest challenge is for the Bulls defense to stop the 3-back offense of Navy. We haven't talked about that. We talked about Blake Horvath, but a guy that Bulls fans should know very well. 60-yard run last year by Eli Hendrickson. Or Heinrich, excuse me, Eli Heinrich, coming into this game, 50 carries, 359 when it comes on the ground, 3 touchdowns, and also catches the ball out of the backfield, 33 catches for 595. So once again, a multi-dimensional running back here that can do multiple things. That's hurt the Bulls in the past, hurt them last year versus.
But this is a different Bulls team.
Yeah, yes.
But I think they'll play a lot harder this year.
I love it, man. Abraham, appreciate the time here. Let me go out to Travis Failey of Rocket Sports and Entertainment. Take those cans off. It happens. The biggest challenge is the Bulls defense to stop the 3-back offense of Navy. I think they will do that. Need today wrap up against UAB. And, of course, Rice there, the final home game there, I believe senior night at Raymond James Stadium. But going back to it, Eli Heinrich, 50 carries for 359, 3 touchdowns, 60-yard run last year. And then also Alex Teza, I believe I'm pronouncing his name right, 95 carries for 543, 5.7, 6 touchdowns. They love to run the ball. And like Douglas said, they love to run that 3-back offense when it comes to Horvath, Heinrich, and, of course, Teza.
Yeah, and Teza's got 103 receiving yards out, so he's a little bit of a dual-purpose threat. But I believe that Chaz Nimrod, wide receiver Chaz Nimrod, should be back today for the Bulls, and he gives that team a nice deep ball threat, which is definitely going to play against that porous Navy secondary. So it could be a big play kind of day as long as Byram's got his accuracy going, because sometimes Byram has a tendency to struggle, especially early on. So once again, when we were talking to Chris earlier, get him active early, get some easy throws in, and next thing you know, we can start hitting them down the field. I mean, Singleton and Nimrod are 2 big players for this USF offense, and I'm looking forward to this matchup because, Pete, once again, this is a monster game for this program.
Yeah, it's one of my keys to the game. Find Keyshawn Singleton, big-time game, 4 catches, 122, 2 touchdowns versus UTSA.
And that game didn't even feel, Pete, I know the final score. That game didn't even feel like it on the field.
No.
Did not feel like it was a, 4 or 5 score difference game. It was crazy. It seemed a lot closer than it actually was at times, especially on the field. I love to having this crowd out there. I think there was about 30,000, 25 to 26,000 out there last week, and it's only going to get bigger and brighter. It'll be interesting in the offseason to see what happens with Byram and with Coach Golish, but I'd love to see Coach Golish stay there, and let's see what happens down the road with after Byram leaves, and let's hope Byram stays one more year. But we're getting ahead of ourselves. There's some great games and great matchups today that have a direct effect on what happens if USF wins this game as far as rankings are concerned.
Yeah.
Pittsburgh's playing Notre Dame. I think that's a 9 versus a 22. Notre Dame beats Pittsburgh, and USF wins today, especially against this Navy team. This Navy team's no slouch, and they got a great record. USF could arguably move up to the around 20 if USF wins today, but we're getting ahead of ourselves and
should go higher than that. I think they should go higher than that. They beat some ranked teams, beat some good teams at the end of the day. I want to go out to Instagram Live here. Raina Smart, Peter, happy Saturday. I need to call in tomorrow so the Bucks win. I didn't last week, and we lost. Damn it, man. Yes, you can't mess with superstition. Very superstitious. You can't do that.
We're going to start losing listeners and viewers with that. Holy moly. Let me handle the entertainment,
I did
all right?
my best Stevie Wonder there because I was setting up the show today, and love it here at Tampa Joe's. Got out here about 9:30. Like I said, got my chicken biscuit from Wendy's, and you're hearing Stevie Wonder, you're hearing Prince, you're hearing all this great Phil Collins in the air tonight. If you don't get pumped up to In the Air tonight when you're hooking up this show, The Evolution of Sports Talk Television, you don't have a pulse. And then they played Guns N' Roses, which is timeless. Guns N' Roses in the morning.
We need to have a conversation about your musical choices because, boy, are they lacking. But once again,
Guns N' Roses is one of the greatest rock bands of all time.
Arguably.
Bite your tongue.
Hey, we were talking about,
Yes.
the committee and some people have James Madison ahead of USF out of the group of 5.
Who did they beat? Who did they beat
exactly.
on there? Who did
they
beat?
lost? Weber State, Liberty. And I know these are teams on your schedule. You got to beat the teams that are on your schedule. Georgia Southern, Georgia State, Louisiana, Old Dominion, Texas State, Marshall, who's 2-3 Marshall. But you got, and they lost against Louisville, who's not a great team this year. So to
that
put
beat Miami, by the way.
Yeah, to put James, I get that. To put James Madison ahead of USF at this point seems to be pretty disingenuous, and I don't understand it. But it all comes down today, ladies and gentlemen, because the Bulls should be able to beat the last 2 teams on their schedule, I believe UAB and Rice, and then that would set up for the conference championship game on December 5th, possibly at Raymond James Stadium for the AAC championship. That would be very interesting, Peter Blake.
It'd definitely be very interesting as we get you ready here. I'm your host, Peter Blake, along with Travis Failey of Rocket Sports and Entertainment, live here from Tampa Joe's 9316 Anderson Road in Tampa. USF versus Navy, a couple minutes away, about 3 minutes away. So let's give our predictions. Biggest key to the game, Travis Failey.
Stop the run, baby.
Yeah, I mean, that's what it comes down to.
You don't have to stop it. Just slow it down. Match possessions with Navy, and when you have the ball, don't make mistakes. I think that's the big key today because Navy's defense has struggled, especially through the air, and what this team can do. We can't say enough about Byron Brown and what he's doing, not only in the ground, but also in the passing game when he's consistent and when he's accurate. They can exploit this Navy defense. Just don't let Navy control the clock, which they will do. They will eat up yardage and they will eat up the clock, and that will limit USF's possessions. You have to be able to score when you have the ball, and if you do those quick 3 and outs like Chris mentioned on the call earlier today, that will play right into Navy's hands. And once again, it's a beautiful day up there. It's about 50 degrees, so weather shouldn't be a factor. 10% possibility for weather. You didn't know you were getting a meteorologist on the show either today,
well, you didn't know you were getting a singer today. It goes both ways, but it definitely is all about. I
got tears in my eyes.
Brown. It's all about Nakia Davenport, who had 7 carries for 94 yards. Run the ball. I know they're going to come out in tempo. You're exactly right. Get Brown, confident. Get him consistent with throwing to his weapons.
But Coach Golish, when you need to slow it down in the fourth quarter, hopefully. Slow it down a minute.
You got to stop the running game, and you also got to get pressure on the quarterback, and you got to cause turnovers, and I think this Bulls team is going to be able to do that. I like the Bulls in this game, 41-24. What do you say?
That's a lot of points, Pete. 41-24. Say 37-21.
All right, 37-21 right there.
USF.
Let's go out to one more comment from Chris Cole. Let's get the win. Go Bulls. Go Bulls.
And get out here to Tampa Joe's. Food is great. I just had the best stuffed mushroom of my life. hands down. And I'm not just saying that because we're here today. Get out to Tampa Joe's on Anderson Road. Great drinks, great specials, great food. Get out to Tampa Joe's. Can't say enough about this place.
Yes,
Peter.
home of the USF away watch parties. We'll be back tomorrow for your Bucks away watch parties, and we'll be back at halftime. For the great Travis Failey of Rocket Sports and Entertainment, I'm your host, Peter Blake, your Rolex reporter. What time is it? It's my time. And for fans of the sports web and the Tampa Bay sports fan, especially you Go Bulls fans, it's your time. We'll see you at halftime on the evolution of sports talk television. As we always say on this show, Go Bulls.